Hello, everyone. Welcome to this brand new edition of 5RoundMMA. My name is Alex Ramirez, alongside my co-host Albert Zita. Thank you all for tuning in this week. We were off last week because of the 4th of July weekend. Albert had some parental responsibilities.
Yeah.
Summer vacation time, right?
Yeah, you got to take the kids somewhere out in the summer, right?
Always, whenever I hear about like vacation, I always think of the National Lampoon's Family Vacation with Chevy Chase. Those growing up, everything can possibly go wrong, goes wrong on a family vacation. Yeah, and was yours okay? Was it smooth?
Everything was smooth, but 100%, you always forget something.
Yeah.
You need something. You have to purchase something that you didn't want to purchase. So, I took my kids to Legoland. I'm a big Disney mark, so I don't want to give the impression out there that I'm just hating because it's not Disney. But there's a lot of aspects I enjoyed of Legoland, but I was a little bit disappointed as far as for kids. It seemed more for like preteens to me, like the rides, I'm saying, as far as height requirements that I did not appreciate. Some of the rides too, I don't even understand the height requirements. Some were asking for like 48 inches, and I'm like, bro, like there's no danger in this ride. What you need? I didn't get it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also too, Legos is kind of a thing where it goes from little kids to adults, right? Who do Legos. I mean, Finn Balor. I think also current UFC flyweight champion Brandon Moreno's all big in Legos too. So maybe it's a pretty wide audience, right? They have at Legoland.
Yeah. But obviously they don't have some of the characters they have licensing to. And I never seen the Lego movie. So I didn't really recognize those characters. I know that, or maybe I'm wrong, because he might voice the guy of Batman. The guy that hosts that Lego show from Arrested Development.
Oh, Will Arnett?
Yeah. Or was he the voice of Batman, or was he the voice of the Lego guy?
He was the voice of Batman.
Oh, so okay. I wonder Batman. I didn't see nothing like that.
I saw Lego Batman. I haven't seen Lego movie. Yeah, obviously it's Lego Batman. Yeah. But I've never seen the Lego movies either. But I mean, part of a parent is exploring new things, right? And going to places.
Real quick before we get off topic.
Yeah.
Obviously, I want to give my kid a little souvenir, whatever. We went to one of the stores real quick. They had like Lego sets for like $100 and more.
Yeah?
Yeah, right. Real quick, I was like, you know what? Legos ain't for you, bro.
We got Legos at home. The Legos at home are a little...
Yeah, they're expensive, bro.
Well, I mean, summer vacation, so good thing you guys are back. We are back now this week. A lot to talk about. UFC 264, one of the probably strangest cards as far as like... mojo wise and like the aura in the arena and stuff like that. So it's kind of weird to talk about, obviously, the results, but also what's everybody moving forward now for each fighter. But before we do that, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors. This week's show is brought to you by Foxhound Fuel. Train hard, stay sharp with their 3 formulas, one for pre-workout, one for ready during hydration, and also a recovery workout formula. Get yourself...
Which I got right here.
Recovery. Albert's big on the recovery. It's natural post-workout. I think there's turmeric in there. It's a mango strawberry flavor or mango lemonade flavor. Helps you recover. Gets those muscles nice and relaxed for the next time you work out. You'll feel even better. Foxhound Fuel. All 3 powders have natural ingredients. No jittery feeling.
Hit him with the big news. How much percentage do they get off now?
No artificial sugars. Go to foxhoundfuel.com. Use promo code 5MMA. That's the number 5MMA for 25% off your order. And if you're not sure about it, Albert, they have those free pouches.
Bro, let me...
A sample pouch. A sample pack.
You get 6 sample free packs.
That's 2 of each.
Yeah.
2 of the pre-workout, 2 of the during hydration, and then 2 of the post-workout.
And the other cool thing, too, about getting the samples is you figure out what you really need.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if someone's like, well, I don't know if I need hydration, or I don't even know if I need recovery, or maybe I just need the pre-workout. Mm-hmm. It's a good way to try it out because everybody's different, and everybody's body, I think... response
exactly.
So you get to feel what you like for me, the recovery was what I really needed. And especially at my age, recovery is key.
You're hitting that recovery after the walking how many miles at Legoland?
Yeah, dude, I was so tired after that walk from Legoland, man. It's a long.
And also that says to Foxhound Fuel how much they believe in this product, that they're giving it away for free, and how much they're gonna say, you know what, you're gonna like it. Just try the sample pack. After you're done with that, you're going to want to buy your own pack. So you again use promo code 5MMA at foxhoundfuel.com. And this week's show is also brought to you by Wildbar. Eat instinctively. All natural ingredients for energy and recovery, nutrient-dense food bars, natural, paleo, vegan-friendly, no refined sugars, non-GMO, gluten-free, all natural ingredients that you could actually pronounce and say, hey, I know exactly what that is. They have three great flavors, cherry, blueberry, and pineapple. Wildbar.co. Use promo code 5RoundMMA15. That's FIVE round MMA 15 for 15% off your order. A big thank you to both of them, Foxhound Fuel and Wildbar. Albert, lots to talk about this week, man. We're going to start with UFC 264 main event. Timer started now. We're going to start with the main event because it deserves its own round. Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier. Real quick, we all know that whenever McGregor fights,
it's a spectacle.
It's a spectacle, and the UFC and ESPN now, they do a good job of reframing history and ignoring a lot of stuff that happened in between his gaps of not fighting. If you're going to ask ESPN and UFC, Dana White on Saturday, Conor McGregor is the greatest fighter of all time. He's been dominant his whole career. Also, too, I thought it was really surprising that apparently Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor has been a rivalry of the century. And apparently this is the hottest three fight in the MMA history. Apparently this is like every time they fight, there's always so much on the line that they absolutely hate each other. And like I was like, oh wow, I watch MMA all the time, and I wasn't even aware that this was the most bitter rivalry in all of MMA history.
Yeah,
but that's how they sold it. Your thoughts really quick on how they sold it and just kind of stuff like that really quick before we get into the fight itself.
First off, I thought the Diaz-Conor one has a little bit more meat in there as far as a feud, a legit feud. I think they're kind of forcing that. Like always, I knew the leading up to this fight, they're really going to put their eggs in the basket. Like it or not, Conor is the draw for UFC. I think last night before I fell asleep, I was hearing numbers like 1.7, 1.8 million buys, which is ridiculous. I mean, just do the math, guys. These guys charge $70 a pay-per-view. You sell 1.7 million times 70. That's a lot of change right there. Yeah. Plus, who knows how much they sold on the tickets and everything else that comes with it. I mean, it's just... I mean, he is the cash cow. So you know the advertisement's going to be on point. Another thing, too... Again, I don't know if it's just Dana White being a marketing genius or it's Dana White just accidentally stumbling upon a good advertisement. But he was at the Suns game, the post game. The Suns fans recognized him. Came out on social media. They're like, oh, Dana White's here. Yeah. Next thing you know it, on the finals first game, there's a nice little banner right there that says Conor McGregor versus Poirier.
Well, don't miss out. So, yeah,
but I'm saying like it's one hand in hand. You're getting those NBA fans to really invest into the UFC.
Yeah. So obviously, again, one of the things I kind of don't like when McGregor fights is it almost they purposely insult the intelligence of the people who watch MMA weekly, daily. Again, because this stuff, everything gets thrown out the window. Rankings get thrown out the window. We'll talk about that a little later on. But
I was actually more excited for the Wonder Boy Gilbert Burns fight. As far as how do I say? Obviously, I'm always wanting to see Conor. Yeah. But when it matters to where we at,
the stakes are actually higher for Gilbert Burns than Stephen Thompson. Right? Yeah. Again, I think if they just say, "Hey, McGregor's a spectacle now. He's gonna fight guys who are on his platform. He's just basically an entertainer now." When he fights, the division's not going to stop. You know what? We acknowledge that he's not the best fighter in the world right now here, but people want to see him pay, so here we go. He's a special attraction, as opposed to have actually been a legit contender in the lightweight division. So McGregor gets defeated by Dustin Poirier, but even though now Dana White says it's going to be ruled to no contest, he's going to make it. He's going to see action happens get turned to no contest.
I actually hope so. I'm actually for that.
So as of right now, this recording, it is a TKO win over Dustin Poirier gets it over Conor McGregor. Dude, early in the fight, McGregor kicks Poirier. Poirier checks it. That probably tweaks his ankle somehow. Poirier goes for a combination, backs McGregor up. And when McGregor's backing up, he rolls his ankle pretty nasty, breaks it, and falls to the ground. Poirier goes for some ground and pound. Fight stopped, but it turns out to be an injury TKO. Dustin Poirier is now 2-1 against Conor McGregor. McGregor was not very happy about it afterwards. Talked some crap on the ground. It's kind of funny. Joe Rogan goes and sits next to him. Dana White says Dustin Poirier is going to fight Charles Oliveira next. McGregor's going to heal up, and whenever McGregor is ready, he said, whenever McGregor's ready, he's going to fight Dustin Poirier. So there's a good chance that Dustin Poirier beats Charles Oliveira, and then whenever McGregor's ready, he can fight Dustin Poirier for the lightweight championship, which I think is 100% bullshit. And McGregor doesn't deserve anything for a title shot at all. If anything, he's probably like ranked 15 now in the lightweight division. So your thoughts on how it finished and that McGregor possibly getting a title shot when he comes back?
Well, right off the bat, I don't want to stray too far apart, but I don't think one part that annoyed me is I really do think it needs to be a no contest. But at the same time, I don't know why Dustin Poirier was so pleased with the results. I know as a fan and also watching other fights that end similar, it's not really like a good finish. So when Chris Weidman beat Anderson Silva because Anderson Silva broke his leg, it looked like a salty win. Yeah. And so I didn't understand why Chris Weidman thought, he I don't know. He
did something.
Yeah. But then I go back to Uriah Hall, who won the same way against Chris Weidman. Uriah Hall
was shook by it.
Yeah. Uriah Hall didn't even really want the win. And he acknowledged it was a freak accident or whatever. And then that's what I'm trying to say. Sometimes these type of wins aren't, I don't know. It just feels weird to call them even a win. And for the fighter to act like they just freaking knocked somebody out over a freak accident happening in the octagon, I don't know. It doesn't sit well with me, and I don't think they should treat it that way. So I do hope it's a no contest. And on top of that, look, who knows what it was that really tweaked the leg? Because he was doing some up kicks. Conor was doing some up kicks too. It could have been on one of the up kicks. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe going into it, he had it cracked. We don't know. The point is, when he rolled his ankle, there was no physical contact by Dustin Poirier. Go back and watch it. There's no contact. It was Conor broke his own leg. Yeah. So if the opponent didn't touch him and then caused the break, I don't understand how it could be a TKO finish.
It's going to turn to no contest because it's going to look better on his record. So and Dana White's going to make it happen. Again, but it's in Las Vegas. The commission there sucks anyways. So it's going to happen. I do agree with you, and Dustin Poirier shouldn't have been so celebratory about it. Dude, but that he didn't really do anything to that, and wasn't really your damage that got done to McGregor. But I think it goes to show you that McGregor does really bring the worst out in his opponents. The only one who's really kind of stayed face is Khabib, because there's nothing for Khabib to kind of brag about. Dude, I know I'm better than you. I'm going to smash you, and then I'm out of here. But I mean, he does bring out the worst in people, for good or for bad. That's how he's able to lure in Eddie Alvarez into a brawl. How he's able to lure in Jose Aldo into a brawl, where these guys completely forget about who they fight and how they fight, and they just kind of go in and want to knock him out. So he does bring out the worst in people, for good or for bad. I don't know. Yeah,
and I do want to end it with everything I just said. I do honestly think Conor's best performances are behind him. I honestly think that. I think the peak of Conor has already passed. Yeah. And I'm a huge Conor fan saying this, but I do think his peak has passed. I do think that it really is tough to get motivated when you got nothing to get motivated about. I mean, you got money in the bank.
Well, that's a bullshit too. How there's still this fight. Oh, I'm motivated McGregor is a dangerous fight. If you're not motivated to fight at the highest level, then get out, bro. You're literally taking up space for guys who still want to fight, like Poirier, Michael Chandler, Justin Gaethje, Charles Oliveira. The guys who are still fighting, guys who don't have $183 million in the bank, guys who are fighting for their livelihood. Tony Ferguson, guys who need to fight to make a living. If you're not going to fight, and if you need to be extra motivated to fight, bro, then get the fuck out, bro. I'm sorry, dude. This whole Dana White privilege too. Oh, he's going to fight Poirier whenever he's ready. What if Poirier does win the title against I don't think he will, but
he's skipping the line for sure.
And then now Poirier's stuck with McGregor now. Dude, this dude kind of, it's remember when
you want to get paid, it comes with it. I
don't even think that fourth fight's not going to be as big because people are going to see what it is. They're tired of it now. It's almost remember when Gray Maynard couldn't shake Frankie Edgar fight, like they kept fighting each other, and it turned out like over like Frankie Edgar's like first like 3 title defenses, both against like it was like BJ Penn, and then for Frankie Gray Maynard's like for like 2 years straight, Frank Edgar just fought 2 guys almost. So, I mean, Poirier, this definitely was a mess. This was not pretty. It was not sexy at all. It's a mess for the UFC, but they'll do their best to clean it up. And good thing there's another event next week to forget all about it. So that's it for round number 1. We're going to come back and talk about the rest of the card coming up next.
5 Round MMA.
Welcome back. Time for round number 2. So, Albert, there were other fights on this card aside from Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier. So let's check back and see the highlights from UFC 264. From top to bottom, man, this is a pretty good card. From the early prelims to the undercard bouts, I was entertained.
Yeah, even the early prelims was pretty good.
Yeah, early prelims, dude. Brad Tavares, who is I think 33 now. I forget how long he's been in the UFC.
Yeah.
I think Ultimate Fighter. He was on the show, didn't win it, but Ultimate Fighter, whatever season it was, dude's there, man. He's in the thick of things for the middleweight division.
And he's fought Izzy before too.
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy. I think he still has a way to go to get that title shot, but he's definitely on his way. Featured early prelim bout Jennifer Maia versus Jessica Eye. Super entertaining fight, super bloody fight.
Jessica's eyes, middle eye.
Yeah, she got a new middle eye, right? Jennifer Maia takes away the victory, but honestly, both these women fight in a division where there is an absolute killer as champion, Valentina Shevchenko, and both of them have actually fought in Shevchenko before, and I don't see anything new coming from that division at all. Prelims.
Do you want to talk about your boy Carlos Condit?
Yeah, man.
In the fall of Carlos. I mean, he just got tore up. He took some vicious leg kicks. I thought he was ragdolled. I don't know, man. I don't know what you do with Carlos Condit, bro.
They put a guy super younger than him, who's way younger.
Is that how you use him?
Yeah, I think so. He is now just a name for people's resumes now. Basically, that's what they did for Max Griffin.
Cowboy Cerrone.
Yeah, I think he's more skillful. He's always been a better fighter than Cowboy Cerrone, but now it's just that, hey, we got a young guy here. Make your name off Carlos Condit. Yeah. But thing about Cowboy Cerrone is he's okay with that role. Mm-hmm. I don't know if Carlos Condit is okay with that role.
I don't think so.
Like, he might say, "No, dude, you guys keep feeding me these young guys. Like, I don't want to get busted up every time. Let me fight somebody on my on my age range, I guess."
the big.
I see him also. I'm just gonna retire, maybe.
Maybe. I think he has one more left in him to really prove if he's.
Not against a young guy. I don't think so.
To me, the big one was Ryan Hall, who lost. I'm a big Ryan Hall fan. He did his little funky jiu-jitsu and he paid for it.
Got knocked out.
Yep.
I just loved how Joe Rogan was trying to educate the fans who are watching and the fans in attendance. Like, they don't know anything. They're a bunch of mouth breathers, I think he said. They're booing him. And then what happens? He gets knocked out trying to do his unorthodox style. Mm-hmm. Joe Rogan was trying so hard. See, the reason why he's doing these front shoulder rolls is because he's trying to do this, and you see it's going to work, or like it's boom, and then boom, gets knocked out. So that was like the most enjoyment for me. Hall is kind of older, so I think the age just kind of keeps up with you. And also, people forget that guys like his opponent are mixed martial artists. That means they study and train every aspect, not just a specialized fighter like Hall is, and then just to come in and adapt to the MMA world. Like, no, bro, they know a little bit of everything, and you can't be just a jiu-jitsu guy and come in to have your jiu-jitsu go number one, or you can't be a striking guy and think that is so. But I think it's like Ryan Hall's first loss in like 6 years, so it depends what happens, what they do with him next. But I think the future time has caught up with Mr. Hall, and you got to adapt, bro. You can't just be doing that stuff all fight. Want to go to the main card?
Yeah, let me pull up the main card here.
Now, what stuck out to you in the main card? Well, I guess we're going to start. Let's start from the top, but from the bottom and work our way up.
Yeah, I was going to say, the Sugar Sean O'Malley, as I get that it was a one-sided beating, but I thought Chris came in there to bang, bro, and he got a couple good shots in there. It wasn't like it was literally Sean O'Malley left with like nothing on his face.
Yeah,
I thought he got tagged a few times, but yeah, I think it showed the different levels they're in clearly. It was the Sugar Show, and he showed his long range. He showed his his crisp boxing. So
I think the kid's super talented, still super young, but this whole like I'm the next big star when you haven't really fought anybody.
I was gonna say, to tell you the truth, you give him Cody Garbrandt. Cody's in a weird position where he's not really know if you keep him in the top 5 or you put him back to the mid card level. He's in a very weird position. So I think Cody Garbrandt's a perfect opponent for him. If not, bring on Dominic Cruz, bro. I mean, let Dominic Cruz go on his last run here.
Yeah, and I say this is kind of a weird card because again, Sean O'Malley did look good, but his opponent was 11 days notice. So it's like, how good are you really? Because that, yeah. So that's that. I still need to see more for O'Malley. Like if you're gonna be the next big star, then you got eventually get to fight somebody with a name. I think so. Next fight, Irene Aldana defeats Yana.
Oh man!
But Aldana did miss weight by like 4 pounds.
Yeah.
So there's that. Not exactly the best victory. She get knocked out, but still.
Yeah.
I know when they literally both come in the cage, they're both probably weigh about the same.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look good that she did miss weight on her first fight back when she looked really bad against Holly Holm. But I'm still an Aldana fan.
Mm-hmm.
Give her to somebody else. Hopefully she makes weight the next time, and hopefully she gets another knockout, and hopefully gets closer to a title shot. Greg Hardy
and then
Taira Tuivasa.
They both went in there to bang, and you know what happens when you just swing like that? Someone gets the wrong side of it.
Heavyweight division.
And keep in mind, for everyone out there really giving it to Greg Hardy. I mean, Greg Hardy technically did rock Ty, and technically it looked like he might get that knockout, but hey, it's whoever gets laid out first, and it was Greg Hardy.
I think we should establish for the people who might not know, what's your favorite football team?
Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, exactly. All I need to know about that. Co-main event.
Oh man,
Stephen Thompson, Gilbert Burns.
Look, a couple things. One, I might be being super biased here. I still think Wonder Boy won that fight. I think he won it. I think he did enough where before he got taken down, he was already ahead in the fight. Like, I mean, as far as the round, if you look at the time and when he was taken down, and then not just that, when I almost feel like, okay, you take the guy down, but if you're not effective, I mean, you can't get more points just because you got the initial takedown. I don't know.
Yeah.
I get the whole control of the octagon, and technically Gilbert Burns had control of the octagon, but he's not really being effective on the ground. I don't know. I still give the fight to Wonder Boy. Mm-hmm. And I don't think Gilbert Burns showed enough to give him Usman. So I honestly think that Gilbert Burns needs to fight another fight before he's called out Usman.
Yeah.
And to tell you the truth, I think Wonder Boy should be allowed to be put in a position to fight somebody else that if he wins, he can still fight Usman.
Who is that,
just because there was no real finish. And like I said, I don't think Burns did enough to really say Wonder Boy doesn't deserve Usman or to say I deserve Usman. So with that said, I think they both deserve to fight somebody else that would get him to Usman. And I know honestly, it's going to come down to whoever Usman ends up fighting. Because remember,
Colby.
There's supposedly Colby, and then you got Leon Edwards.
Yeah.
Right? But I think whoever isn't in, let Gilbert Burns fight George Masvidal, because if it seems like that's what he wants.
Why he wants that fight, I have no idea.
But give it to him. If that's what he wants, give it to him. But give Wonder Boy the guy that Usman doesn't pick. So if it's Leon, if he fights Kobe Covington, then Leon Edwards should fight Wonder Boy.
Yeah.
If Usman ends up fighting Leon Edwards, give Kobe Covington to Wonder Boy. That seems logical to me.
Yeah, I like it. I think both of them didn't do. This fight didn't do him any favors.
Yeah, that's
like you said.
Either or.
There is no clear number one
exactly.
contender now. So all right, well that's it for round number 2. We're gonna come back, and I think Mr. Guillermo Silva is gonna be joining us next. Executive producer, talk about what we just talked about again, and everything in between. So don't go around. Come up next.
5-round MMA.
All right, everyone, welcome back. We are joined by special guest, executive producer of 5-Round MMA, Mr. Guillermo Silva. Guillermo, how's it going?
Good, man. How are you guys? You guys doing big things, I see.
We're trying. I like how Guillermo only comes out for the big cards, and Conor McGregor is one of them. Has a lot to talk about.
I want to make sure you guys don't go off the narrative and start creating your guys' own narrative.
That's the whole part of the show.
No logical sense.
No. Guillermo just doesn't want to admit it, but Conor brings the best out of him. And this is what I was trying to say in the earlier round, how Conor's a spectacle.
Yeah.
But look what he does. He brings out our
That
producer,
big
Guillermo
of a-
Cita, out.
Yeah, that big of a spectacle.
That's how big of a star Conor really
Albert
is.
brings me out because
Nah, it was
text
Conor.
messages I got
Stop it.
yesterday around Conor McGregor were ludicrous.
Yeah,
So-
usually Guillermo's wrapped up in the Euro Cup and Copa America right now,
Yeah.
Real
Right
quick,
here
real
shortly.
quick, tell us how's the Euro Cup turning out to you in your opinion?
Actually, it's been a very entertaining games. We got Italy England final here in an hour and a half. So yesterday the Argentina Brazil game was intense, and there was very little fans. So if you guys can imagine how UFC was, had they packed up that arena, that atmosphere would have been way better than the UFC event. Like in terms of just the aura, the atmosphere, it was hectic down in the Copa America.
Well, I know. I think the Euro Cup's going to have fans in attendance, so that should be lively. Who do you got, Italy or England?
My heart says then my brain says Italy.
There you go. There's a pick. We'll see if you're right. This is going on forever. Guillermo, so UFC 264. We talked about a little bit in the earlier rounds here, but your thoughts on Conor McGregor, the finish, and also too, I want to get your thoughts on Dana White saying I'm going to change it to no contest, and more than likely, whenever McGregor's ready, he's going to get Dustin Poirier again.
Well, first of all, I thought it was overall a good card, so that's first. Second, Dana White is trying to squeeze every single penny off Conor McGregor because people are going to tune in, whether it's Dustin Poirier. I saw people saying Nate Diaz. I mean, they're trying to just squeeze every single piece of penny. And I even when I was watching it live, Conor McGregor fighting for the medical stoppage was a big deal because that's the only way on the record wise you could say, hey, well, he technically didn't lose. The doctor stopped it. And then for Dana White, that fight didn't count.
Yeah.
Right? No contest means the fight didn't count. So we can run it again or we can run something else. And still, hey, he technically never lost that.
So what now? So Dana White did say that Poirier is going to fight Charles Oliveira for the lightweight championship. What if Poirier wins and Dana White already promised McGregor Poirier? So that technically there's a chance that when McGregor comes back, he could be fighting for the lightweight championship after going 1-4 and his only win against Cowboy Cerrone. How the hell is that even possible?
Exactly, and Albert will defend that to the death, saying how that is perfect. That makes perfect sense, logical sense, and makes zero sense. I mean, Albert was talking about Michael Chandler yesterday that can beat Dustin Poirier. Well, this guy that broke his leg is very, very inactive. All of a sudden skips through all these guys that are in line. Justin Gaethje, I mean Chandler, you name it. There's El Cucuy can even get a better chance. I feel has a better chance at the title than Conor McGregor. But
This was the argument I was trying to make earlier. Like, to me, it's just frustrating and it just seems a little bit salty when Chris Weidman was claiming this big victory over Anderson Silva when Anderson Silva broke his foot. And I just felt like it was like a salty way to really claim that victory. And then when Uriah Hall, when it happened to Uriah Hall and Chris Weidman, Uriah Hall didn't even want the win. He's like, dude, it was a freak accident, whatever. And it's true, like, when you see something end that way, it just doesn't feel right. And I get that Conor's going to skip the line if Dustin wins the belt. And when Conor comes back, he automatically gets to face Dustin. But my whole point is, you kind of have to because that's a salty win. No, I don't know. It wasn't a finish. So I would be on everybody's side if it was Dustin's action that finished the fight.
So, I mean, would you felt better if Dustin went down on his knees and like started kissing McGregor's ankle? Like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, McGregor. Oh no, like I bow down to you like that or what?
But don't go freaking acting like you had the greatest victory of all
that
time.
too, but like, dude, McGregor brings the worst out of people, man. And like, you're talk shit. Go ahead. Go. Sorry.
I was gonna say, so one scenario, but one thing: the Anderson Silva versus Chris Weidman fight, it was a championship fight, so that's different. So this was not a championship fight. The second thing, the scenario had Poirier broke his ankle. What would Conor have said?
True.
But I still would have said it was a salty win. But what about the Uriah Hall Chris Weidman one? Explain that one. How's that any different?
And that one's to the same point to where like okay, run it back whenever Chris Weidman, but that one has no implications at a title. That's the biggest difference.
Yeah.
Albert. There's no implications to a title. That's why a Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor makes perfect sense because there's no implication for a title. And really, that's a retirement fight. If you think about it, Albert,
for both.
Retires, yes.
I agree.
See you later.
I 100% agree for that. I mean, they can run that back and straight up, loser, get out of here.
Well, shouldn't they now just book McGregor as a special attraction and forget all this talk about title shots? And McGregor has no business fighting anybody in the top 5 of any division.
Exactly.
He cannot hang with top 5 welterweights. He cannot hang with top 5 lightweights. He cannot hang with top 5 featherweights, the 3 divisions he's fought in. He is maybe give him a 7, 8, 9 guy.
I agree. Give him a 7, 8, 9 guy, but I think you still need him to prove he doesn't belong in the top 5.
Oh, well, you mean like him fighting top 5 guys and keep losing to top 5 guys? Is that what you want to see?
That's how you show it. That's how you show it.
He's been showing it.
He only fought Dustin twice, and then prior to that, Khabib. So it's like that's not a real good assessment.
So this is my thing: is that the game plan is completely wrong with Conor McGregor. There's too much inactivity to set up these super fights, or with Dustin, with Khabib. What he really needs to do is be more active. Maybe fighting every 3 months, 4 months, even if it's lower ranked guys, so he can get back into active shape. And because I think the big part of Conor McGregor and why he fails or currently failing is because of inactivity. If he's out there like all these other guys, I mean, they're at the top or the peak of the game, and people pass you up real quick if you're not active.
In all honesty, it should go in this order and by wins. I think it should be Nick Diaz next, right? Nate Diaz next, and then if he wins, give him Dan Hooker to establish that he belongs in the top 5. And then give him Max Holloway because everybody just wants to see it. Okay. And if he wins that, then there's a title contention right there.
So you want McGregor just to be murdered? Is that what you want?
I mean, if he gets murdered, then that obviously he needs to hang it up.
Albert's very big on going on the shield, right?
So Albert's gonna steal this idea, but basically he stole my idea. What I just said, you guys.
He didn't say it like that. See, I give specific names. I give specific details.
That's it for this round. Hey, Gilbert, you want to stick around and talk about some professional wrestling?
Sure, man.
All right, we got one more round coming next.
5-round MMA.
Welcome back. Time for round number 4. We're going to switch gears, talk about professional wrestling. Since Guillermo City is here, too, we had a complete opposite view of us and Albert when it comes to professional wrestling. The big news now is the WWE Thunderdome is no more. I think this is the last week because it was pre-taped. It's starting now, I think, with SmackDown. I think this Friday it's going to be live with in audience. Finally in attendance now. AEW's been doing that for a little while. But Guillermo, do you think now that with people in attendance, how do you anticipate them to react to the Roman Reigns and stuff like that? Will you hear the boos, the cheers? People just be excited just to be in the building? Will they follow along and boo the heels, cheer the faces? How do you anticipate fans reacting to in-person WWE now?
I think it's similar to, and I get it. Wrestling's not UFC, but similar. I feel like the fans will bring a lot of enjoyment, or will bring up the level of entertainment from the wrestlers, whether they're booing or cheering. But I think it's just going to come out the gate on fire. So you guys might be shocked a little bit once you can see a live audience. These last couple of months have been really a snooze fest, in my opinion, out of WWE, AEW, Impact. I mean, I don't know. It seems like wrestling is on the back burner right now out of everything. There's so much other stuff going on that's more catching my attention than wrestling at the moment.
You know what I will say, though, is now that the fans are back, I almost feel like they're still holding on to a lot of cards because they really want to make an impact, no pun intended, when they have their big events coming up, because you got a SummerSlam around the corner, you got All Out around the corner, and then you got Slammiversary around the corner. And I think the live crowd's just going to feed into those events that they kind of don't want to reveal their hand yet. And that's why we haven't seen these big wrestling matches now that we have live events back. But I will say this, though, it almost feels like they are using it to their advantage because, like Guillermo said, they are not doing the big matches that you kind of want to see, knowing that the fans are going to be hot no matter what match is being shown.
Yeah, and I think too. I'm interested to see like the WWE crowd on a Raw or a SmackDown. We got a glimpse of it at WrestleMania, but it was such a big arena and it wasn't all the way full, so you can't really get what the crowd was into. For an AEW crowd, no offense, Albert, again, but they pop for everything.
Oh yeah,
they no matter what. So it's kind of hard to gauge what's working, what's not working, because they're just so.
I still remember
they're just so marked out that they'll pop for anything. So it's kind of hard. But a WWE audience, the age range is all over the place. You got some people who maybe don't want to be there, but are there because they're kids or whatever. So it's interesting what's going to work for the WWE standpoint as far as is Roman Reigns truly the best heel? Is he going to get booed? Kind of stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like stuff we've seen on television for the past 15 months. Is that really going to equate over to a live audience reaction? Because we all know the live audience reaction is everything in wrestling.
I was going to say, I remember when a promoter guy named Bart went up to us and he said, like, dude, why do you have to do Hurricanes when they're popping for headlocks?
Yeah.
I mean, it's true.
AEW in a nutshell.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I'm pretty sure Albert's exactly like all the AEW fans because I'm sure he's popping up against. He was talking about Rhino versus the Good Brothers on Impact.
Oh yeah,
Albert, are you serious, dude?
I did not talk about Rhino. You know for a fact I have never popped for Rhino.
Well, the thing you don't know now, Guillermo, is that next week Albert's going to debut his handlebar mustache like Kenny Omega.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I was this close last time when I was thinking about trimming my beard.
Yeah,
I was like, dude, should I do it?
Kenny Omega has a weird like little handlebar beard.
He has the old school Triple H. I think that's what he's trying to mimic. Triple H's all little choppers.
Yeah, I saw his contract signing on Impact last Thursday, so I know what you guys are talking about.
Real quick too, Malachi Black, formerly Tommy End, formerly Aleister Black, surprise debut.
Terrible
on AEW.
Why terrible? Like I don't understand why.
What?
I saw that you guys were texting back and forth that this is horrible. But I thought you guys were on Malachi Black when he was in
never.
WWE.
No, I've never been a fan.
He had the only thing good is his entrance. Mm-hmm. But I mean, you could put anybody into that cool entrance and it still be a cool entrance. I mean, it annoys me like to no end, and I don't care how it comes out. I really don't care how it comes out. But if you are telling me you practice MMA, you're this tough guy, and you come out looking like a slob, how am I supposed to believe that?
He looks pretty fit.
Dude, he looks fit. He looks skinny fit. Like
Albert wants him to be shredded.
You need to be shredded, bro. I see GSP's Instagram all the time, and you're gonna tell me this guy practices the same thing as GSP? Get out of here, bro.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna believe that. And second thing,
MMA fighter.
Look at this. What about this is cool? This lame, bro. Well, I'm not freaking 1993 thinking that's tight. Like that's lame, bro.
But then you guys sent me a video of Jack Swagger in a MMA fight.
Oh, dude, that thing was tight, bro. That shit was tight.
And you guys saying it's like the best thing since sliced bread.
Well, Jack Swagger.
You guys have a problem with the actual MMA fighting style.
Jack Hager.
That was creative, bro.
I don't know. Like I'm the same way too. Like I guess it always kind of irked me when like CM Punk. He would try to incorporate like Muay Thai or kickboxing into his offense, but then like his kicks wouldn't even pass like a test in anywhere. You know what I mean?
And then when he actually does MMA, what happened? He got the floor wipe.
I don't think he even landed a kick.
Jobber.
I don't know. I'm just not a fan of Tommy End or Malachi Black or.
First of all, the name is stupid.
Aleister
no
Black.
Disrespect to the Young Bucks, because I know that the youngest of Bucks is Malachi.
I don't know the whole goth thing. I don't know. Like it doesn't really. I don't know. Is he supposed to be like?
He doesn't even give me that aura of a goth guy. That's like you know what I'm saying? Like I don't even think he's fully buying into the gimmick.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, but I
let me see some 666 and some devil's shit.
Was like a very suicidal type of promo.
Whose?
Malachi Black or whatever.
I don't know. And he did like a video too, like where he's like in an insane asylum, and like that's where he debuted his name. Like I'm not Tommy End, I'm Malachi Black. So I don't know. I think that I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if I don't get it.
I just know I don't like it.
Yeah, even with I just don't get it. I don't know. It just doesn't.
You don't get it now, but no one understood Bray Wyatt.
I got Bray Wyatt right away. I got what that was.
But
the Fiend, I don't get the Fiend at all. I think the Fiend just been a horrible.
What was it say? But the package looked cool when it came to Bray Wyatt. The package looked cool. I'm not talking about his wrestling because his wrestling is dog shit.
Yeah.
But the package looked cool.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, that's it for round number 4. One more round, Guillermo?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, one more round coming up next.
5-round MMA.
Welcome back. 5th and final round. News and notes. Mr. Guillermo City is still with us here. Guillermo, you talked about, I think we touched on too, we'll go back to UFC 264 coverage of having Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman. I think the UFC even debuted like a TikTok personality as part of one of their correspondents. Obviously, I think this is just for McGregor. I don't think what's the card for next week. I don't think Stephen A. Smith or Max
Kellerman.
Max Kellerman are going to be covering the Makhachev Moises fight, or they're having this TikTok star. But are you okay with the ESPN and UFC bringing in these big time people who aren't normally associated with MMA to cover the fights?
No, I'm not okay with it because
Neither am I.
It feels like, so you got to take it with two perspectives. One, they're good on TV, so don't get me wrong. Do I like seeing Stephen A. Smith? Do I like seeing Max Kellerman? 100% up. Sometimes I watch their show in the morning. I'm looking forward to after the NBA game just to see Stephen A. take opinion. But with the UFC, I feel like it's a little too much because I feel like he's not an expert. But then he also claims that he's not an expert on he's like, oh, I was talking to Dominic Cruz. Dominic Cruz told me this, and this. So I think it's more of a feel because people know who he is and people know who Max Kellerman is. So for the average fan, they're like, oh, let me listen because it is Stephen A. Smith. So that's my perspective on it. But do I like it? No, I think it's not their expertise.
Yeah, I think, Albert, we talked about earlier, whenever Conor McGregor fights, it's almost like time stops, history gets rewritten, and everybody who watches MMA on a regular basis and talks about it, it's almost an insult to all of them because like none of their opinion matters. McGregor's this, McGregor's that. We're gonna get people from outside to talk about it because if you were to get a true MMA journalist out there or commentator talk, they're gonna say McGregor's 1-4. His last fight is against Donald Cerrone. But what are your thoughts on UFC bringing in non-MMA people to cover these big time fights?
Yeah, it doesn't bug me because when you watch a show like Stephen A. Smith or even Skip Bayless, whatever, they cover all sports. They cover baseball, and they're not technically baseball analysts or whatever. Yeah. The point is, the point that annoys me is, the passion's not there. Stephen A. Smith is known to really argue his point, but it's when he's passionate about his point. And I don't think he really cares about MMA. They're just putting him there because he's the guy for ESPN. Same thing with Kellerman. Oh, it's boxing. Just put him in there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think none of them have the passion for it. And I think that's the part that bugs me. Because it doesn't seem as a hot take. The reason why I like watching Skip Bayless and
Shannon Sharp?
Yeah, Shannon Sharp is because they're so passionate about their points that it becomes entertaining. These guys I don't think have the same passion for MMA. So it comes off almost like an afterthought, and that's the part that bugs me.
Stephen A. Smith's hot take last night, saying that Conor McGregor's done, that we've seen the best of him, and Conor McGregor is never ever going to be on the top of the sport again.
Well, Albert made the same point.
But I said it passionately. I actually meant something when I was saying it.
Yeah, I think it just goes to the overall spectacle of now that as UFC is growing, and obviously the ESPN has more of an influence on it. Yeah,
but the last thing I was going to say, though, was where they made their big mistake was when they do go into the NBA championship coverage, or they go to the baseball MLB championship, whatever, they usually have a former star with them to kind of bring in all the viewpoints. I think they should have had an MMA guy there bringing all the viewpoints. I didn't see who they have.
It was Dominic Cruz was on that. At least next to Stephen A. Smith, Dominic Cruz was on that.
Yeah, I think it's just the more the dominant personality. Give your opinion. It would be weird if Alex Rodriguez was all of a sudden just part of the inside NBA panel on TNT. Wouldn't that be weird? Getting randomly.
What would I even care?
Yeah.
But
real quick to
DC. I mean, DC did a hell of a job yesterday. Calling everything out on the. Who did we say? What's his name from the Cowboys? The quarterback. that's an analyst now?
Tony Romo.
Tony Romo. You know how we're impressed because he can call the plays before they're happening?
Yeah.
I feel like DC was on a freaking groove yesterday. Like, he was seeing everything before it was even happening.
Yeah, no, I honestly think DC's the best commentator or whatever we ever seen. And to tell you the truth, you know who's right behind him was Frank Mir. Frank Mir doesn't have
back in the day. He was really good. Yeah,
not that he had the best. It's funny because he didn't have like the best career, but like when he was explaining what's happening, as someone that doesn't know what's happening, was helping me out.
Yeah,
I think Joe Rogan is too biased, and I think Frank Mir was probably one of the best one. But DC, man, that guy. He probably is the best MMA commentator, period.
Well, because I think Frank Mir's fight IQ is really high, but he was doing commentary back when it was like UFC 75 or something like that, right? Randomly, like it was him and Randy Couture just randomly did it. But I do think that what DC does, the more they have fighters on there, the more it shows that Joe Rogan doesn't really know what he's talking about. But they're never going to get rid of Joe Rogan no matter what, as long as Dana White's in charge. But real quick to DC, he has his own ESPN show now, right? I think like an old talk show now coming up.
DC and RC.
So, dude, that's pretty like legit, man. Like he has his own talk show now.
Props to DC.
I assume it's going to be all encompassing sports, even though I think RC is a big MMA fan. That's why they kind of pair them together. I don't think it's just going to be MMA specific, but... Dude, DC, man, he's quickly becoming one of probably the biggest stars post MMA now.
He's always been a good talker when it comes to just explaining things or just being like a someone that's just giving out information. Yeah. He's always been a good talker. The problem with people that say that Chael Sonnen's probably like the best, I guess, media person that's an MMA fighter is I feel like Chael Sonnen can't really explain those details like DC does.
Yeah,
he's more of an opinionated guy. Which I think, but to tell you the truth, I think DC and Chael Sonnen will make a great show too.
It's kind of the complete opposite, right?
Yeah. And Michael Bisping was with Stephen A. Smith too. It's Michael Bisping and Dominic Cruz.
Oh yeah, I think I like Bisping does good stuff. Dominic Cruz is a little too technical sometimes, like way over your head. But
I just feel like Michael Bisping still has a chip on his shoulder.
What happened?
I said Bisping needs to turn it down a little bit. It seems like he's always screaming at the top of
his lungs. That's what I was saying right now, too.
Yeah, I was saying he always feels like he has a chip in his shoulder still. It's like, bro, you're not even fighting no more. Relax.
Your career's over,
man. No one's even judging you right now.
All right, that's it for this week's show. Thank you all for tuning in, whether you're listening to us on podcast version, whether audio podcast version, whether it be on Amazon Podcasts, Spotify, Podomatic, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, we're available. Or if you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. That way you never miss a show. This show is brought to you this week by Foxhound Fuel. Train hard, stay sharp. Go to foxhoundfuel.com and get one of three or all three of their pre-workout powders, their during workout hydration, or their post-workout recovery powders to help you get the best workout possible. Go to foxhoundfuel.com. Use promo code 5MMA. It's a number 5MMA for 25% off your order. Foxhoundfuel.com. Train hard, stay sharp. And this week's show is also brought to you by Wildbar. Eat instinctively. Now, all natural ingredients for energy and recovery. Nutrient-dense food bars. They're natural, paleo, vegan friendly, no refined sugars, non-GMO, gluten-free, made with ingredients you can actually pronounce. Go to wildbar.co. Use promo code 5RoundMMA15 for 15% off your order. That's wildbar.co. 5RoundMMA15. Albert, what do you got?
I just want to say two things. One, even though Foxhound did hook us up initially, I bought these on my own. Of course, I use 5MMA and the promo code to get my discount. But I bought it because it works, bro. Like it or not, Guillermo will be hating and saying that he doesn't see no difference in me. But I know he sees it. I know he sees me. He sees the weight melting off.
Amazing. It saved me from soreness. Like, dude, I wasn't in bad shape. I drank one of those, and I was feeling 100 times better.
I think Albert was saying, like, you don't see the change in Albert's physical appearance.
In my physical appearance. I know you'd be hating, bro. Yeah, no, I know the product works. keep keep watching, and we'll see what's up.
We gotta do the before and after photos.
Yeah.
All right.
The last thing I wanted to point out was I see you guys not giving us that much love on the iTunes. I know you guys watch iTunes because I get the analytics back. So go down there, give us a 5-star review, give us a comment. You don't like what we're saying? Why don't you comment on YouTube to tell us? Alex over here, he'll reply to you.
I will. We're all about the comments, good or bad. We will respond. Guillermo, what do you got?
Just HSF hits again. I mean, Jason Hendricks going for Conor McGregor. The Irish is down at the bottom of the bottom of the barrel, dude. Jason, dude, your Suns are next. They're gonna choke a 3-1 lead. The ultimate jinx, Jason Hendricks and the Those Leprechauns podcast. But that's all. That's what I have for you guys.
All right, take us away one more time. Cream of the crop, Guillermo.
Ooh, yeah, the cream of the crop.
See you guys next week.
Thanks for tuning in.